just 27 points down, 56-27, but still a lot of time left in this one. But again, I think it's just trying to continue to implement the system, change up your defense to see if you can get turnovers. But Abingdon showing that they're just a really, really good team, at least here tonight in the opening game of the season. A lot to be learned from here on out. Talk about that first quarter of action. Cats, let's see here. First quarter of action, Cats with just 9 points. So second quarter, much more fruitful, 18 points in the second quarter alone. So we saw the offense sort of come alive, but also Abingdon sort of become a little bit more lax defensively.
Maybe what we can do is we can keep doubling our point total by each quarter. Maybe we'll get somewhere on the offensive side of the ball and bring this into a ball game.
Let's take a look here at our scoreboard. We know that there's one college football game going on today, the Pac-12 championship game, into the first quarter out there. USC with a 7-0 lead over the Stanford Cardinals. Those are some of there's a little scoreboard update, but Stanford is in the red zone at the USC 9-yard line.
What did you say the score was? I'm sorry.
7-0 USC. So that's your score from the Pac-12 championship game. Again, a big day coming up tomorrow around college football championship Saturday. All the big-time matchups going to go. That's a big one tonight, number 10 versus 12, USC and Stanford. But again, some big playoff implications tomorrow night in the championship games. Oh. What championship game are you most excited about?
SEC. There's only one conference in football, and that's the SEC, Dylan.
There you go. So the SEC championship, it will be. I'm talking about which one do you think will be the best game?
Ooh.
I'm not talking about I think Auburn controls Georgia.
I think the ACC championship games will be a lot of fun to watch tomorrow. I think, like I said, I picked before. I think Miami's going to get the win there, but I think it's a lot of fun for. I think whenever Miami's winning, they have a lot of fun, and the broadcast seems more fun whenever you're watching the game too. So, you ever see Miami's winning a ball game, you might want to tune in. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, Miami with the turnover chain. We're going to try to bring the turnover chain into the playoffs. So we'll see if they're able to make some noise on the playoff side of things. They'll have to contend with Clemson. And there's a lot of people talking about that game as if, let's say Miami does win. There's a lot of people saying that Clemson with one loss still gets into with two losses still gets into the national championship. I find that hard to imagine with Alabama sitting
with
there.
Alabama at 5 and with Miami at 7, that's the team that beats you. I don't think you can do it.
And I think they lost to Clemson or lost to Syracuse by Clemson might end up haunting them if the Miami game comes to a close. But that's the thing about the conference championship games. You never know. That's why you got to play them. But it also throws a mind into the rankings right there that last week of the year because you're playing somebody. Of course, Miami's not a repeat game, but, most of them are rematches. Or at least the Big 12 is a rematch, and so is the SEC championship game. So we will see.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the Union Appomattox update. I can't find anything on it.
They play tonight or tomorrow?
I thought it was tonight. I see a lot of stuff about tonight, but just no score post.
Yeah, Union still making the playoff push. Also, a local team, Chilhowie, making a push. They'll play tomorrow night. I would almost imagine that Union plays tomorrow. I think they do all those late games in the year on Saturdays. Of course, Virginia High football had a great year.
Can't be here tomorrow. Yeah, you're exactly right. They play tomorrow. I don't know what.
What were you thinking, Mark?
Been a long day, Dylan. Philip Fulmer's the AD. I haven't got much sleep trying to keep up with this coaching search.
Mark's a Tennessee fan, so he's been up night and day keeping up with this coaching search. Of course, I woke up bright and early today to hear about Ole Miss's violations.
Yeah. Gosh,
we've had a rough 2 days, or a rough day, rough 24 hours. You've had a rough week. My day got a lot worse this morning.
You have a new AD, and you're still looking for a new coach in a week. It never ends.
Yeah, that coaching search for Tennessee, it's like a HBO series that you just don't want to stop watching. I know you want it to end, but some people don't.
Make it end, please. We got Big Phil in there now, so that's nice. Maybe we'll call T. Martin. I mean, I'd like to have Mike Leach. We put up about 50 points a game in the SEC. He wanted the job. I mean, they send the MOU back to get it signed, but that's how John Curry got fired. So, I mean,
everything bounces around those MOUs at Tennessee. You got to watch out if you get handed one of those. It means something's about to hit the fan, as they say.
Yeah, it means you can definitely expect expect the media to come calling.
Stanford has scored on USC and getting ready, an extra point away from tying it. A 9-yard touchdown run from Bryce Love.
He's the boy. He's really good. I mean, Kerryon Johnson, I think he's probably the best back in all of football right now, followed by Saquon Barkley, but then he's definitely
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, but he's definitely a 3 seed for that matter. I mean, I don't think you can compare anybody else to him.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time tomorrow to figure out who's going to go. It's, the selection show on Sunday, and we'll figure out where everybody's going to land as far as in the top 4 or just outside the top 4. And this is really the last chance for these teams to make it into the resume.
Unless if you're Alabama, then you're just got to hope and pray and bite your fingernails.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see what these outcomes do to the Crimson Tide.
They'll find a way.
I would not mind seeing Alabama miss the playoff like most normal teams.
Like every other normal team in college football.
I would actually really like for Alabama and Clemson not to be in it. And we just have like this fresh new group. I don't want Ohio State in it either, though.
If Ohio State wins, they'll wind up being in. They always wind up being in. I don't know what it is. The committee has some sort of hard eyes for Ohio State. Every time they win a ball game, they're the best team in the country. But J.T. Barrett getting hit by the cameraman was the best thing that happened to them last week.
Yeah, they ended up getting the win and got the big comeback there last week. And it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out because there's about 5 or 6 teams that could be in the playoff, arguably. And you could make a strong case for almost every one of them. But in the end, only 4 goes, and that'll be a decision they have to make. But hopefully it gets a little easier. It could get a whole lot tougher, though, by the end of Saturday.
I'm telling you, I like Mike Leach's idea of 10-game playoff or 10-game regular season, and then you have a 64-team tournament. I love it. It's a great idea. I mean, maybe I'm on the Mike Leach bandwagon right now, but I love it. Mike Leach, he's a smart man. That's for sure.
Yeah. Got a law degree.
He loves Pirates.
He just loves. He's a thinker, that's for sure. So we just ended the halftime report, our rambling on about college football. We hope you're a college football fan, but
if not, basketball's fun. We're having a lot of good fun in basketball. Tennessee's the 10th seed now, according to Joe Lenardi.
A lot of game left, though. Got to get to conference play, too. 56-27, Abingdon leading Virginia High as we get set to open up the second half of basketball. Let's see if the Cats come out with a little different start here. At the opening tip of the game, we saw Abingdon just run away at the beginning. Inman driving inside, loses it, picks it back up inside, and a foul. Again. That is Trent Cox on the contact on the shot, and now Inman will go to the line, and that's been something we've seen quite a bit of, Inman getting to the line.
That's been his bread and butter, that's for sure.
Cats were 11 for 17 from the line there in the first half. Inman up and out as he missed the first shot on the back of the rim, and it rolled out. 7:51 on the clock as we just opened up the third quarter. Second one, good. 14 points now for Inman as Abingdon brings it back down the floor, working left to right here at the Bearcat Den. Inside move, and Basham with 2 on the lay-in, and he's up to 20 points now. Just less than a minute into the third period. Driving, Inman, lay-in, good. Good move there for Inman, using the ball fake, taking it up, and really switching hands there while he was midair with the strong move. 58-30 as Inman lays it in. 16 points for Alex. Driving, backhand, Francisco got it in with his head turned to the basket. 60-30 Abingdon. Just no defense on the inside. Here comes Inman, reverse, missed it. Just a bit strong. Good look.
And that seemed like one of the shots he would make. I mean, it doesn't seem like he's missed that all night long.
Basham driving, good pass. Francisco underneath to his post, to the other post player. Francisco lays it in, and he's to 15 points. Driving left side, baseline. Austin Strong, rebound, Abingdon. Cox nearly went out of bounds with it, but got it out, and that's Francisco up, and the foul. Shot was no good. Don't know who they're going to call it on. It could have been either Medley or Brown. Let's see.
Looks like Taylor's who they called it on, Dalton Taylor.
Yep, you're right. Dalton Taylor charged with the foul. Look at you, Mark. Francisco to the line, 62-30. Abingdon out in front here in the second half. Francisco good on the first. It's 16 points now for Thomas. An Abingdon team that finished 8-14 last year. This Bearcat team, the last game they played in the conference final lost to Graham, but they got there by way of an upset win over Richlands in the tournament. But a lot of youth on this team this year. As here comes Johnston up the floor. The second shot was good, 64-30. The score, Abingdon out in front. 34-point advantage for the Falcons. Gavin Austin driving, looking for some movement there, but Johnston didn't go where he thought. And now another turnover as Francisco down the floor after the steal. Initiated contact, didn't get the call, but got the lay-in as he tried to initiate with Johnston. Couldn't buy the whistle. Johnson with the ball fake now. Austin dribbles it straight out, and a turnover as Basham comes down with it. Another missed opportunity down on the block. Francisco driving, easy lay-in for Willis, who was standing underneath the basket. Nobody on him, and Coach Rasnick calls timeout.
And Francisco and Basham just picked up right where they left off.
68-30.
Goodness gracious. You've had two really great finds by Francisco, a couple by Basham, and they just keep scoring and putting points on the board.
They've controlled the boards, had the ball most of the game due to turnovers, and they lead 68-30 to the Falcons. Team fouls just one apiece so far here in the second half as Abingdon staying with their guns so far. Got all the heavy hitters still out on the floor even with the big lead. Timeout was called there by Coach Rasnick, and timeout's brought to you by State Line Motors. Check out their inventory at State Line Motors SVA or State Line Motors VA.com.
Yeah, tell them Mark sent you, will give you $100 off. Like I said, they're great people down there. They'll take good care of you. They'd never let you down, that's for sure.
My question is, what if I went down there and said, Mark sent me, Mark sent me, Mark sent me, Mark sent me? Would I get like $400 off?
That's to, I'm going to say, we'll say no.
Okay.
But we'll ask Pat.
I'm just wondering.
We'll ask Pat Bridwell on that one.
Hey, you never know. Austin over on the wing with the ball now. Dribbles it off. Guarded by Francisco. Fakes the shot. Good pass inside. Medley lay in strong. Medley being shut down so far. Only 4 points for Bobby. Pass back out. Driving is Van Dyke. And he traveled. He threw an outlet pass to Cox. 68-30. Abingdon dominating so far.
Finally a turnover by the opposite side.
Inbounds goes to Johnston. He'll control it up to Gavin Austin now to the right side. Johnson looks at a three, passes it up. Would have been a long three. The freshman Taylor back out on the floor for the second time tonight. Cats just throwing around the perimeter. Not a lot of movement inside. Three-pointer on the way. No good. Off the front from Austin. Rebounded by Abingdon. Here come the Falcons on the other side. Roten controlling the ball. Throws it. Turnover as he tried to get it out.
Watch
Austin
the Wolf.
taking it down court left side. Lay in right hand. Got it. Spun it around on the inside. Good shot there in transition. Gavin Austin.
It's his first point since the three-pointer in the first quarter.
5 points for Austin as here comes Virginia High, the freshman with the ball, knocked away and out of bounds. Go off of Abingdon. Jake O'Quinn knocked it away.
Now John Clifton in for Bobby Medley as well.
Not seen Bobby Medley be able to get going tonight in the post, something I'm sure Coach Rasnick would like to see. As Cats passing it around the perimeter. Three-pointer on the way from Johnston, no good. Rebound off a high bounce as Belcher comes down with it, driving down right side. Johnson falls. Three-pointer from the top, no good off the left rim, but a rebound right into the hands of Jake Owen right at the foul line. That one no good, but another board and no boxing out. Another putback. 22 Bowles puts it in. 70-32 the score as that one ricochets off a defender. Cats hold on to it on the miss. Austin with the ball turning inside, foul contact.
Wrapped around his body there. You can't miss that one.
Cox the foul on